Or just, and if someone else comes in, welcome them. First off, my name is Lisa Tyson, Executive Director of the District 2 Community Council. And I want to also introduce our staff, Annie, who is running our tech tonight, and then she does all of our communications work. So if you received a postcard from her, or a newsletter, or any social media posts, that's all Annie. Annie takes care of all of that. We may also be having Giovanna, who's one of our newest staff members joining us tonight. She is one of our community organizers who is working on not only specifically our renter residents, but also businesses and other ways of engaging with folks. So especially like our faith-based communities, and schools and the rec centers here. So with that, I would like to, why don't we go around the room and just give us your first name, and if you know what quadrant you live in, that'd be nice. Or just kind of general areas, just so we can get a feel for the room. Why don't we start with that?
My name is Bob Dyke, I live over on Hyacinth and Flandreau, I don't know what is that. That's two. Well,
Oh, no, good one.
I want it,
Yep,
it's right on the border.
right on the border.
I'm Martha, I'm on the Boston and Legend Diesel.
So,
I'm Stephanie Henderson and I live in this quadrant, which is two. And I'm Jean Garrett and I'm not sure the what, but I, 3 or 4. I live in your related, it's called Related Heights.
I'm Chris Delstrom. I live on Hawthorne and Peterson area over just north of Eagle. So I'm not sure what quadrant it is. 2. All right. Heard some.
Kathy. In 6 o'clock season, it's like maybe 100 south of.
what?
How about that? Good.
Marietta.
Marietta, I live here. And use the park in Duluth case.
She's our rec center representative, so.
I say that I live up on IBM.
My name's Jess and I live in Quadrant 3.
My name is Joanne Ellis and I live in Bluff.
My name is Joan, I live in Tool.
Dan?
And Ruth and Brady. And yes, water. Come forward.
Jerry.
I'm Scott, we're right across the street. Yep. It's not all steady, I'm true.
All right.
Right across the street.
Well, welcome all of you. Thanks to. You're in District 5. Thank you. Welcome. So we do have a really brief agenda tonight. So I think the goal is to meet everyone, get to know each other, kind of learn a little bit more from each other, what you want to hear from the district council, the way you want to hear it, that sort of thing. So we will start with the consent agenda, which you have all the documents in your packet. The folks that are online, Delisa, oh, actually, we should probably have Delisa and Yanni introduce themselves as well. Delisa, do you want to just say hello?
Can't see them.
There you go. Yeah. Hi, Delisa. Delisa is in Quad 4 and she is our 2023 vice president. And then Yanni.
Yanni Humas, yep, Quad 3, and current president.
So Yanni is out east and Delisa is over in Quad 4. So welcome both of you as well. In your packets and for those online, I will be sending these over to you. You have a financial report and a report on goals as well as the 2024 goals. As a consent agenda, you would approve all in one motion. So is there a motion to approve that? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Next, I'd like to acknowledge those board members that we have with us tonight. Obviously, you just met Yanni and Delisa, but we have Steph, Jessica, Joanne, Joe, that's the J roll. Paul, and I think that's all so far tonight. So thank you all. Many of you have given me your service to the neighborhood and to the community, and we do appreciate it that you do. With that, if you turn to the last page of your packet, you will see that there is a slate of nominees. We did hold elections online and via paper ballot for the last month. So, and right now we do have 3 open positions in quad 1. We have in quadrant 2, Joan Ballinger has been elected, Nathan has been elected, and Pam Weber, who's unable to attend tonight, has also been elected, as well as we have Paul and Rebecca who are continuing on. Quadrant 3, we have Johnny, who's re-elected, Michael and Karen, who are continuing on, but then we do also have some 2 open positions. And then, hey, Nelsie.
Hey, you really interrupt, but I just got out from Rebecca and said she kind of to join and.
Oh, can you take care of that for me? Thank you.
She's not coming with us.
Oh, sure. You might have to just email. And then in quadrant 4, we have Patrick, Jean, Jeanette, and Delisa who were elected this time, and then Dan is also continuing on. With that, I would accept a motion to approve the slate as stands. And then if anyone is, in addition, would like to run for one of those open positions, we'll open it from there. So is there a motion to accept the slate? Motion to approve. Second. Thank you. So with that, all in favor of approving the slate?
How many open positions are there? Quadrant 1 and 3, is that what I see?
For right now, yes,
Okay.
but we will also be electing 3 at-large positions tonight
Oh, it's
from the floor. So technically we have 8 positions that are open as of right now. But we're gonna do them in stages, so. Any other discussion on the slate as stands? All right, I'll approve. Opposed. Congratulations to all of our new folks. Congratulations again for the vote. Everyone, this is Giovanna. She is our newest staff member, and she's reorganizing and the renter engagement as well as working with our churches and schools and rec centers. So, well, Giovanna. With that, Nelsie, how much time do you have tonight? Okay, so before we continue on with elections, Nelsie, why don't you come up and say a few things, and then that way when you have to go, you're ready to go. We have with us here Councilmember Gang, represents most of our neighborhood. There's about 3 blocks on the southern side that is represented right now by Jean Prince. But Nelsie has the ballness. Well,
So much, Lisa. Well, hi, everyone. I wanted to swing by and make sure that I got a chance to meet all of you and also to really say thanks to D2. I really enjoy the partnership that we've been able to have within my council office. And just really the strength of our east side and community here. Like our work in City Hall is strengthened by the power of people in our neighborhoods. And D2 has definitely been, one of the district councils that has just continued to be engaged from the get-go. And just a quick intro about myself, like I'm Nelsie, I serve as the council member in our ward here. So this is my 4th year on the council. And I'm also the first non-American woman and the youngest person to be elected onto the St. Paul City Council. It's really an honor, and also I'm so humbled to be serving our East Side community. I know many of you know that our community is like, such a special community. We are a heavy working class community, very abundant in the diversity across race, class, and gender, and especially age, and making sure that our district councils are reflective and also understanding of the important changes coming to our city, and that we also need to be shaping and creating that together collectively is really important. And so
Let's take.
as a council member, I am really excited and just, looking forward to, Vernon D2 so that we can make the most abundance and prosperity happen right here at the Heights in the greater East Side, where the city and also the St. Paul Port Authority are partnering to bring in 1,000 housing units, bringing in 1,000 living wage jobs, especially prioritizing hiring people right here from the East Side so they don't have to travel so far to get to the workplace, and making sure that this is the nation's first carbon neutral site ever. And so this is really, really big. It's something that, we just haven't seen anywhere else before, and the East Side gets to be a model for that. I also want to name that, like, because of the partnership with D2, we've been able to build like so much of the community pressure, but also like the political pressure needed for more partnerships across the levels of government. So in addition to that, like, I'm focusing on how can we increase more transit options to our communities here, knowing that there's a lot of folks who don't need transit, but we need to have a robust transit system in the East Side. We have to be, leveraging as much resources as possible for that, and also making sure that community continues to be at the center of decision making. That's going to be huge. And in addition to that, making sure that we get White Bear Avenue finally redesigned, but it's safe for our community, for pedestrians, for bikers, even for motorists too. And so that's gonna be huge. And so this is what I see is gonna be the huge work moving forward that the board carries, but also that the council and also folks at the community and the state are gonna be having to work together and get aligned on. And I can't be more proud to be a council member who is, right there, right alongside leaders in our D2 community, right here in the Greater East Side. So I want to say thank you for your leadership, and those of you who are on the board, thank you for what you do. It is such a thankless job and role that you have. Lisa, your role too as ED, and folks who come out and volunteer. But I want to say thanks, because again, that is the strength of what the East Side is about. So I love our community. I know you all do too, and that's why we're here. So looking forward to getting to know more of you and just seeing the work moving forward D2. So hope you all have a wonderful evening today.
And well, Winona, do you talk about for on behalf of the county commissioner, or just here to
I am just here to kind of tune in and, see what the district council, what your priorities are. I know Commissioner Jean also very strongly supports the purple line going down right there. There are a lot of things going on with transportation. We've had a lot of meetings with Metro Transit, and, we're thinking, there's be about redesigning like 61 of the other side. And so there's a lot that's been going on, but I'm just here to tune in. I do want to share that budget proposal, we finished budget proposals here in the department, but we're gonna have that come with board to make a decision on in December. So if you're interested, please get in touch with me, and I'll let you know about the motion hearing that take place before that is passed. So yeah. Keep your face tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll go back to elections, and I think we should start with the open positions with quadrants. Is there anyone interested in from quad one, quad three into those open positions?
Don't you explain what one exactly?
Is, I talk with my hands, I apologize.
Go ahead.
So one is Johnson Parkway and Venture Trail to White Bear Avenue. Lavender to Maryland. So if you can configure that box, that's quad one. Quad three is just to the south of that, so it's Maryland to Minnehaha, Johnson Parkway to White Bear. So if there's anyone from those two neighborhoods and are interested in the board, I will ask 3 times, just because that's what Robert's rules tells me to do. Are there any nominations?
She got one.
Are there any nominations? if you change your mind, or if anyone online, changes their mind and are from 1 or 3 and are interested in those positions, please reach out to us and we'll make arrangements to have another position. As part of our board, oh, yes, Ms. Campbell, I review. Yes, So, the board meets on the 3rd Wednesday of every month, except for December where we kind of take that. Unless something big is happening, then we move up the meeting. The meetings are usually an hour and a half. Typically, if we have something big happening, we let everyone know. We haven't had too many big public hearings recently, especially post-COVID. But it's just an hour and a half and we meet at the Hayden Heights Library. We do have additional committees, so we have a land use committee that's combined with the transportation, so, anyone who's interested in redoing Whitewater Avenue, land use in the neighborhood, new developments, zoning, if that's your bag, the land use committee is a great place for you, and that meets on the 2nd Monday of every month at 6:30. We try to make everything at 6:30 so no one gets the time. Then we also have an engagement committee, which meets on the 2nd Wednesday of every month. And they have done work with our creating a strategic plan. They're working right now on updating our equity plan. And then they help us as staff design newsletters and logos and anything that has to do with communicating to the people. And then I think then we have our executive committee, which is made up of board members. And they meet every other month or so to go over budget, work plans, staffing issues, that sort of thing.
And the cause of committees, or is it just board members?
No, it is open to everyone. Yes, we're all access community organization, folks, so you do not have to be a board member to come to committee meetings, you do not have to be a board member to join a committee. You don't even have to be a board member to come to board meetings, they're open to everyone. But we would love to have you join the board, we'd love to have you join your groups, so. There's Miss Karen, who is one of our board members. Any other questions regarding kind of what the board's timelines for minutes are? Okay, so with that, we have, yes.
We have a nomination for each.
Yanni. What's we done with this? Jessica, are you interested in a 2-year term or for quad 3?
Well, see, the problem is with work, I'm not sure if I can do the meetings every Wednesday, I mean, I could try to work something out.
Yeah. And I know that you were thinking about maybe just a 1-year term as an at-large.
Yes.
So, Yanni, would you like to nominate Jessica as an at-large for 1 year?
Question,
Yes.
what is that?
Yes.
At-large.
Yeah, that'd be
means-
fine.
Thank you, Yanni.
I mean, sorry, I could like just request them, sorry, to like work during the day. That's your call. Okay.
At-large members, it's an annual election, so there's a 1-year term, and it can be from anywhere in the neighborhood or a business owner. So we have 3 positions that we elect every year at the annual meeting. Like I say, it's a 1-year term, and you can live anywhere in the neighborhood. So, which is a great segue to, are there anyone who is interested in one of those at-large positions? There are 3. So 1-year term. Could you?
Yeah, you
Sorry. So Jessica's in this one.
Can you hurry up? I gotta go.
Let's accept.
Okay. And what was?
Oh, I can.
Thank you, Melissa.
We have 1 more position, if anyone is interested. Okay. What are you see anybody, Okay. If anyone online has a nomination, please repeat it because we didn't hear you. Anyone else? One spot left right now. Okay. Since we have no others, we will close the election right now for at-large positions. We will keep that last position open. If any of you go home and say, God darn it, I should have said yes. You're welcome to do that, and we'll just do an election at the next board meeting. But, so right now we have Jessica and Stephanie for at-large positions. Is there a motion to approve that slate? Okay. Karen, and Bob are your second meeting, right?
Include that, yeah.
Yep. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right, welcome Jessica and Steph. Thank you for doing that again. Like I say, Steph, you're stuck with us. There you go. So we're gonna do this a little bit. In prior years, we broke up into individual neighborhoods and talked about, what are our priorities for our specific neighborhood and what are other ways that the district council can engage with our residents, businesses. I think because we're a small enough group, we can talk as a group. So, Annie, I know you're doing the tech, but can you take notes on this? Yep. There you go. We're sharing a pen tech. So with that, so what I want to hear from you, what do you think is the top kind of 1, 2, 3 issues that we have in the neighborhood? Jean.
Coming from the Workers' Compensation Division of the state of Minnesota, we always ask at our meetings, are there any safety issues? I think saying safety first means a lot. So, I think a lot of this, just, the whole thing is that people are safe in their neighborhoods and, in their homes.
Karen.
Roads, and to talk about the last year, and making any new trails. And about the biggest ones we really need. We need more of those, accessible and functional.
Yes. What else do you think is wrong?
About roads, I'd say classified to infrastructure. Because I'm retired from the city of St. Paul, and I know our sewer system, some areas are pre-World War I. And I'll tell you something, downtown St. Paul, there's sandrock tunnels, and you got a 14-ton train running over. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna cost money, but taxation, but. And the water system, that's, there's lead lines out there, so. Actually, your infrastructure, your streets, your sewer system, water, lights, in the neighborhood, I know copper's being stole, ripped off and what have you, but. We need to have an area lit up because. People will get off the bus and walk home, and they're walking down 2 blocks of a dark alley, dark road, you don't know what's out there.
Yeah, even those street lights, we had that walk, was that like last year and they're like, no, that's how the lights are supposed to be, but they're very dim, the Sesame Street style street lights, they need to be brighter.
Oriental lights, flicker.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I think Bob brings up a good point. We're still waiting for copper to be either finding other solutions or.
I don't know how city infrastructure is, but those solar lights, I have ones I put on my house when I moved in, and they still do what they're supposed to do, so you think you could come up with some kind of something. I don't know.
Anyone else?
better infrastructure for our kids, community centers, schools, activities. Gotta keep them getting into trouble. Kathy.
Yeah, so when we think of solutions, a lot of times we're building, make it through bigger or better or. And I never hear people say, we need to look within the nations and still on. And improve what's here, I certainly miss it. Just for the camping up track, can't solve them. What I say, and even, it's on education, playing, it's. Bring the lights, the outside lighting. You can save money, and kids can still see the songs. So, and the birds. Anyways, I just, my voice. Talk about the development. It's
Back to further development or redevelop. I know that our K Street, for example, there's a couple of spaces where the city chose to remove some buildings. Only so that when you're on our K Street, you can get to see the residential community behind the facade buildings. And on White Bear, we've got a number of empty spaces that we can remove a couple of buildings, thus opening a new space. Not having to repopulate that, business that we can't keep operating. And do something to that effect so that we can actually create maybe a space for the food consequences. Yeah.
Wonderful, there you go, Sharon.
I think this one is in mind. The city of St. Paul did really well during this year's meeting, which is really is a big taking care of infrastructure. The city streets are neighborhood key. Just to do in the team, those people a lot of making. Time.
What else do you want? Yes, it's over.
Participation, we have now is imposed. Where it happens, that we move. Is he thought to the status that it's.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we've had many conversations, and Councilmember Yang, I don't know if you want to address some of the, yes, we are very aware about the new developments has that catch-22 of bringing more people. And how do we address that when we have aging infrastructure and we have roads that aren't working right now? So yes, indeed, that is definitely part of the conversation, and that's something that the district council will continue to work with our city folk and our common folk, particularly on the road, to make sure that we're not making more congestion, more clogging. Nancy, do you want to address that at all?
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly right. I mean, traffic has been one of the largest, I would say, points of conversation in all of the developments and, for the heights, that's still something that we gotta figure out just because we still have to figure out like where the streets and what are those signs we can have up, but with White Bear, we do have a really big opportunity to work with the county more on that, especially when the line comes in, and so and mention streams that I feel like it's something that we are discussing, we just haven't hit it yet, so I would say how you all can support is by continuing to be really engaged in D2 and voicing your opinions there and raising concerns also.
I will add that, if the purple line does go down right there, I think during the years of construction, we are, like, the construction of the purple line needs to line up construction of the heights. And I know that there are also other businesses up by their avenue are also planning on doing some, new construction on like Grand and Southton. I would say for like 2025 to 2027, there's probably gonna be a lot of construction right there. But the purple line, if it does go to right there, that's like a really new opportunity because it allows for complete like renovation of the basically like Charles Road. So expect a lot of construction if it goes down that way, but hopefully it fixes a lot of the issues that we're seeing on the way there.
And before that happens, expect a lot of meeting notices from district council, because we want to hear from all of you. And so that we can convey what neighborhood wants and needs to the city. Whether you're for or against, it's important for the city and for the county to hear from us. So, I really highly encourage you to, if you haven't signed up for the e-newsletter, if you haven't signed up for committees, to consider doing that so that we can keep and making sure that you hear all the meeting notices and all the information going out. Yes, Martha.
So I'm also a climate and green space person, that's my priority in life, and generally working on it in various ways. I am concerned about the 1 unit zoning change and that it happened to be. Or
Yeah, I haven't, did it get passed today? Okay, well, we'll have lots to learn about it, for sure. Anything else? Yes. Mhm. And I think that goes to the housing, to the infrastructure, utilities, all of that. We want to make sure that, you know, affordable, whatever that definition is for your individual family, that this neighborhood is that. Anything?
We need jobs.
We need more jobs, yeah.
Sure.
Yes, just fun.
on a piggyback off of that. We don't want just jobs, we want jobs, but we also want jobs for our youth.
Yes.
We need jobs for these teenagers. There's a lot of forgetting about them in between everything. So once we can get them into being proud of themselves and working, you're right, it will definitely involve the community.
One thing I'm really, just counting. She's here. One of the things I'm really excited about, which is she actually lives in our neighborhood. So she's not from, I live in Northeast Minneapolis, so I don't usually have a stake in this game. We have staff who live right here and can see what's going on right here and let the board know what's going on from her perspective. So it's a really exciting thing. Any other issues? Yes, wow.
You talked about bringing in employment. What is District 2 doing, you know, to bring it in? Like if you tear down a vacant building, well, you know, maybe that could be utilized for some type of employment.
So the district council cannot hire more people than we have capacity.
Yeah,
But we can work with developers to ensure that, or to advise them to hire from the neighborhood first. We can ask them that when they're building or reconstructing or doing that they're using local labor. Union labor would be great, well-paid labor. So we can't physically create more job opportunities. That's not what the district council does. However, what we can do is advocate on behalf of the communities to make sure that the folks that are coming here or the things that are happening respect what the neighborhood wants.
well, another thing like Lake Phelan parks, you know, they could use a little upgrade, you know, grass.
You could talk to District 5 about that neighborhood. For prosperity, for Cleveland Heights, for Hazel Park, for Frost Lake, and like Beaver Lake and Furnace Parkway too.
Yeah,
And Furnace Parkway. Yeah.
because I know like Parks Department. I don't know if they still do it, they had parkades, you know. Kids would be out there pushing a lawnmower and they
Yeah,
paid like, this is 30 years ago, $3.50 an hour, and,
yeah.
you know, it was a good type of employment.
Summer job,
Yeah,
keep them off the street.
yeah,
Well, and I think, you know, that's a situation that we can check with Parks to see what they, I know that everyone is looking to hire folks and having very difficult time finding folks to hire. So we can't guarantee the hiring practices at ICUG. We can't understand or can't influence the hiring practices of the city. But what we can do is advocate when we see something at one of our rec centers or parks to call either your district council or call the city directly and say, hey, this needs to be addressed. What can we do to fix it? So that's what we can do. Gee, what were you gonna say?
With, as far as being unemployed, employment, that is something that we want to influence as well as far as the city. Because just like there's temporary agencies for adults, we need it for teenagers. I am one that went through one, and I promise you, it kept me off the streets. It gave me pride. It got where I'm at now. But we don't have that for these children anymore.
Yeah.
Everything, and I mean, don't get me thinking, I mean, no disrespect to the parks, but the only thing they think about are the young and the elders. There's this big old roof right here, that if, even with the, as far as the buildings, they don't have to necessarily tear them down. But how about we give one to the community and say, hey, give these kids jobs? Because there's a lot of 14, 15-year-olds out there that do want it, but if they don't have something backing them, like a job that say, hey, you call us if anything goes wrong, we got insurance, we got this, we're never gonna solve it. Yeah, I know we can solve it, but you know,
So I'm gonna say Kathy, but then after Kathy, I'd love to hear from someone who has spoken yet too. So Kathy, sounds like. Yeah.
And like that's a good problem.
Mhm.
And there is, you know, we track through schools, good people in the park. And
Yeah, but then there's
over in this.
there's a lot of risk.
80 to get the restoration.
Right, track is great, but there are a lot of restrictions that you have to comply with, so it doesn't make it feel easy to.
And
Well-
why is this stuff?
well, I don't mean to jump in, but there's one word, it's called budget, you know. How much money do they have to implement the program or training? If there's no money, you know. Or like, you know, the city's only got so much money, you know, it's that, right?
So, from someone we haven't heard from yet, what are some other issues that you're seeing in the neighborhood that maybe haven't been mentioned yet? Paul's got it.
Yeah, we're city, rec center. It needs work.
Yes, it needs to be knocked down and rebuilt.
Yes.
Add it on to,
Just saying,
you know,
Rec Center has been here, I've lived on the east side for 35+ years, and this is the building today that we're in, that was here 35 years ago, and it has done a great job, but it's time to give it a new look. Especially with the heights coming down the street. I'm just saying, people who live in the heights, then they come and look at this, they're like, I'm going to Maplewood. Their rec centers look nicer than this one.
yeah, I'm looking at the air conditioner unit right now up there, which is a cardboard box.
It has served us well, but it's time to revision, and I think that's what we need to even think about, we need to. How do we want, I view us as like a little village, and we need to take care of each other, we need to get to know our neighbors, we need to have little shops where people can walk to, rather than having to get into a car and drive. I just, White Bear has so much potential. And I think it could bring us together as a stronger community. So, but we're moving to the rest, so some just say knocking down the thing. Yeah,
We are getting shut down. We need more activities for middle-aged grumpy ladies like me who wanna play bingo. And pickleball, right? No, I don't like pickleball.
That's what I say, beyond.
Beyond pickleball, I want to see paint party nights at the rec center. And, um, well,
Just more options.
more options for people like me, consumers. Yes, and not just,
Sure.
just, I don't want all the
All ages. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more opportunity to hit me with things. I see you, Martha, and then after that, we're gonna talk about how do we get more people in the room. So Martha, hit me with the last one.
That was what I was gonna say, a couple of community meetings.
Right.
Yeah, I've lived now 2 years on my block and I reach out to people, but my impression is people already talk to each other. And it's across languages and cultures, but it also is. For reserve and so on for that. Not sure, but they can say.
So, just to refresh your memory, our boundaries are along Johnson Parkway and the Benton Trail to midnight. We have 32,000 residents. We sent out newsletters. We sent out postcards. We blew up social media. We actually door knocked and flyered different neighborhoods and look around the room. And as much as I appreciate every one of you for being here, I really, really do. I would have loved if there was 10 extra people for each one of you. So,
wouldn't fit in the room.
well, then you're gonna have to get a bigger room. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. There's a whole gym over there we could use. So what are some ways beyond, I mean, we have things that are translated into Hmong as well as Spanish. We have, like I say, door knocked, flyer, mailed, really expensive to 32,000 residences, but 32,000 people, but we do it. What are some other ways, or what are some things that we can do to get more people involved in communication?
We do like pop-ups at local businesses and just kind of hunker down and talk to everyone that comes through the door. You know, like me, I don't look at my mail. I probably got your notice. I only know this is going on because I've been doing it past 6-7 years.
Because I made,
Yeah, but I don't look at my mail and it sits in my little mail bag and then, you know, I work from 7 a.m. to home at 5 unless I work another job and then like, I don't wanna look at my mail. Sometimes I just take it, put it into the recycle without even looking at it. So I'm like, if it's important, they'll email me or they'll call me. So I don't know that that's hitting everyone if it's not, or I'll go through it and I'll pick out what I know is a bill or what I know is a check and everything else gets wrapped by it. So.
How is this meeting here tonight specifically because the library is full? Or are you moving the meetings here?
no, this is not one off.
So typically gonna be held at the next library.
Yes, and we actually last year at our annual meeting had less people than in the room tonight.
Okay, well, I'm not sure about.
Sarah, Bob was there last year.
I'm not sure about the protocol it's in the library, but. Library I work at, we do have food at meetings that people have. I was going to say, if, I know that this meeting is scheduled for 6:30. But if maybe posting the announcement for the meeting saying that at 5:30 or 5 o'clock, a food truck would be there. Or food would be available somehow. Come and have a meal and stay for the meeting, that may be the incentive, because I've seen better discussions because they've got something in their stomach.
I bet you the little sleep over her chair. I know, we sure don't say it. So, please, help yourself.
Well, you talk about mail and that helped a lot of politicians campaign. And I was told out of 10 people, 6 of them throw the stuff in the trash. So you get your postcard, District 2, there it goes, but they're the first one to go in and harp to her about all that crap, I'm Professor Ed asked complaints when I worked for this. But I can't tell them you gotta get involved, and I gotta write the report, so on and so on, but I don't know if people are just don't wanna get involved. Or don't understand, You know, we're not gonna raise their taxes if they get involved, you know. I'd be bankrupt by now.
I know one thing that brings people out of left feet to the district council 20 years ago. Is something, you know, it sounds negative, but what happened was, we had some. House that they wanted to put in that would have. Made the neighbors, what they usually looked at in their backyard was a nice green space. And it would have cut off their access to go in there, you know, it's not their yards. But they just didn't like it, they wanted to put clusters.
Yeah, I was gonna say they want to put 5 homes on a 1 home lot.
Yes, yeah, and the place was packed, and that's kind of what brought me in. And so, I mean. Hey. And that's really what breaks people out. A lot of times is when they see something happening that. Frightens them, or whatever, I'm not speaking over people or else scary. But, and I just don't know, I just don't know either, I mean, when you're saying we should fake news that. Well, you did those listening sessions on Saturday morning, but nobody ever. Somebody was
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
Jen, what are you gonna say?
Okay. Well, maybe it's not like our shooting, or superior, so sit down and then some of what. Speaking of.
It sure is expensive.
The other thing I would have. Child care related activities, but it's. My
Kids aren't always welcome, I used to bring my kids.
yeah, I just, like, I sit down and nice, like, right, like, organized actions.
Kathy.
Yeah, I have 3 of the recent foreign talks. Yeah. It's my surprise, you know, I decided to go. And there weren't that many people, and there's 2 more coming up. It's important to see, because it's not like there's no changes at buses, there's some issues. Yeah, but I have this idea, that it should be fun to walk to the bus. And so what would be fun for me is to have shade all the way there, so I can look at all of these butterflies and birds, and then when I get there, I wanted to see like a poster or no class or something. And that the district councils would be go through them to, you know, what's happening. What issues there, what's fun one.
If you find yourself in District 6, which is Rice in Maryland, there's a vacant lot, water garden, that sort of thing, but they have a giant glassed-in board where you can put community notices in. And I know they got a grant from AIR to do that. But it may be something that we can here. What are some good things to get people here?
And it's kind of have a different perspective, because I did a lot of them in.
Yeah, we did, and I appreciate that.
Yes. So, policy. Something hard neighborhood, affordable, conditions until they provide for this needs. They're not going to have a street plan to come in place. If they don't have like security, they're doing 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet.
I hear you. We survive. And I wish we could do that, but it's beyond our tiny little budget, y'all. It's beyond our budget, it's beyond our capacity with 1 full-time staff and 3 part-time staff. So, but what we can do is, like Jen said, make sure that people know that we have childcare, that we can provide food, that, we can make sure that the information that we're giving is in multiple languages. And then also if someone says, I don't speak English, so I need someone here to translate for me. We try and make that available. I think we also need to be aware of folks who have physical limitations, making sure that there's microphones available, making sure that there is, much larger screens available so that people can see. Just try and be as accommodating as possible, I think. Ms. Nelson.
I just wanted to, I did want to see that I feel the language barrier piece is a big challenge and a reality for a lot of all the work by district councils in the east side here. I mean, my experience being on the council, I mean, as a council member, like I have to campaign, so even on the campaign trail, we see this come up, and that's why it's always been a value of mine to make sure that any chance that we get to hire person, we diversify that and work to bring on a team that is multilingual. So I would say, like, one of my visions for D2 and all the other district councils in my ward too is that, hopefully we can one day get all the district councils to scale so we can bring on that multilingual team. Then I would also add that I really feel there's a lot of value in like doing personal follow-ups for people who are attending meetings, or even like, if it's like their first event ever at the meeting, even due to host it, having a staff or maybe even a dedicated worker who is working on like building relationships, building trust with new attendees or other folks involved and really valuable too. So I see that based on my experience doing community organization work, and I found that to be really effective. And one thing I do want to offer to before I head out is, I know there were a lot of like just suggestions or questions brought up around like the housing unit study the council recently voted on. If there's like any council issues that the board or even like residents and D2 would really like to hear more about, like I love to offer at my office or even city staff members to come to the D2 meetings and like either do a presentation, do a listening session, Q&A session, like that, and that'd be really phenomenal. And I did, for all the different topics that were brought up today, I'd love to come back and do more do like almost like a conversation with the board students so that you all can get to hear what's the city doing about potholes, or what are we
Doing about potholes.
Yeah, I just loved doing what you said about rebuilding, like in Heights Rexford. That is huge for me, and Lisa knows that too, because that's also a shared community priority for our greater East Side residents, and so that is also something that we're working to build up foundation for. So, like I would say a follow-up session for these different topics that are important to all. It feels really important to I'd be committed to.
Right, and one of the reasons that we're asking this question is we're at that time where the district councils have to provide a work plan to the city every year to get our funding. So our largest funder is the city of St. Paul. So we do have to prepare a work plan. We're going to take this information that you have given us tonight, and we're going to make that part of our work. So, like I said, we may not be able to solve the problems, but at least we can advocate to get resources here to bring changes to the problems. So that's kind of the purpose of what we're talking about tonight. So, and I thank you, Nelsie, very much for coming. I know you're super busy, so I appreciate you coming tonight. And yes, we'll follow up with different topics. And I think, one of the things I would always want to see is prior to board meetings, maybe an hour, half hour before, having like topic presentations. So, 1 month it's, I'm a numbers geek, I admit it, doing, breaking down what the numbers of our neighborhood looks like, everything from what the economics are to who's actually living here, what languages are being spoken in our neighborhood, just kind of breaking down all those numbers. And then also I would love to have Karen come and talk about the work that she's done along the Bento Trail with bumblebees and birds. She's done a lot of protecting that Bento Trail. Then I would also love to see conversations about the 1 to 4, zoning or any other new ordinances that are coming up that can impact all of us and who is here today and who will be here in 10 years. So that's one of the things that I would really like to see, and we're going to try and implement that next year. But
Let's make something really topical, really gets, something is something to work with, like, I don't know what you think, it's hard.
Right, right, and that's another reason I wanted to say why we were taking here today and asking all these questions, because I know that oftentimes you'll go and someone will ask your opinion and it goes nowhere. And you never hear from them again. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you all know that this is gonna be kind of creating our work plan next year. All the
And I have one more year to play community stuff, so try to utilize it, don't.
Love you, Dave Paul. Karen?
I don't know, but a lot of residents. The board, the one. And that's probably from getting involved, so is there. Communication. To, this is a whole community, that we need a lot of teams to get involved.
Yes, and we actually, so for all the new board members, next month is the board orientation. We encourage former board members as well, or interim board members as well as new board members to come and learn. And I think one of the things that we're going to talk about in November is creating like an elevator speech. Are you familiar with the term elevator speech? It's what would you tell someone about your organization if you only had an elevator pitch? So brief descriptions of who we are, but it's all uniform so that every board member knows how to describe it. And so I think highlighting that, almost a script of who we are, what we do would be really helpful.
We didn't finalize that mission statement.
We sure did, we have a mission statement, yes, down.
You said, and I know we're the. Once.
Really have to be the traditional art, where those were more like privation things. Yeah, block, excuse me. Maybe it is a bunch of gardening folk who do garden on the block. Maybe that's what we help people facilitate that with not necessarily one mission.
Some seasons not.
Each one is here. It's just across the street. About 20 years ago, for a few years, but there were so few that got involved. And our block is 3 blocks long. And
Yeah.
so it was more of a challenge than it was worth.
But maybe it's time to revisit.
It's-
I think it's worth a try. All right, we are at 7:30. Is there any other invitations to the public that we're missing? Is there any other ideas that you have that you'd like us to kind of add to our work plans in the future? Yes, yes. Feel free to reach out to the office and we will definitely love to sit down and chat with you. We've got ideas of ways to engage your neighborhood, or if you want to get more involved, you may not want to necessarily be the board member. But there's other ways that you can get involved without being beyond board. So other than that, thank you all for coming tonight. Those of you who were elected, I will be reaching out to you probably in the next week or so. And letting you know kind of the rundown. Take a cookie.
And so. All we're talking about what? Sort of about here tonight, but it had been, to the engineering. Whatever, yeah. Ready, be on your. Well, you